All right, Elias, let's hit the question from Nicole for you. Says, I want to set up my investment accounts so they don't go through probate and are easy for my daughter to inherit. How do I do that?
It's an excellent question from a future-focused mom.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole, the first step to avoid probate is going to be having your beneficiaries listed on all of your accounts and probably doing some level of estate planning for the rest of your assets. Here's a good way to think about this. There's 3 primary assets people have that should have beneficiaries.
Mm-hmm.
Investment accounts, retirement accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the same. So your 401ks, IRAs, even non-qualified accounts, non-retirement investment accounts, bank accounts, and then real estate. So there's a few things you can do with each of those accounts to make sure they won't be subject to probate. So we'll talk retirement accounts first. And here's a good thing about retirement accounts. They require at least a primary beneficiary.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully in this case, because Nicole wants the money to go to her daughter is the primary beneficiary of any retirement accounts that she has. It's possible if she hasn't reviewed that for a long time, maybe her parents are, or maybe a partner or a spouse, whatever that may be. So reviewing that, making sure it's correct. For your bank accounts and non-retirement accounts, you can typically add what's called a transfer on death or a payable on death endorsement.
Okay.
And any bank, any financial institution should have a form that you can fill out to do that. And then for your real estate, it's really good to have a revocable living trust established for your real estate, and that'll help that avoid probate. And then a will is a good thing to have for other assets.
Yeah, it makes sense. And, it's funny that it makes me think of something. I was co-executor of an estate for somebody who did not change the beneficiary from one of the life insurance. So the money for everything was supposed to go into the pool and take care of everything. Well, the co-executor who was there in that with me, he was named the original beneficiary. That never got changed, and dude absconded with the money. I mean, didn't abscond because it was benefited to him, but it was supposed to go to the entire state. I mean, you got to remember to do these things.
So the purpose of the money in your story was to help settle all of the estate, and were multiple people supposed to get some money, or just was supposed to cover
Multiple
expenses?
Multiple people. It was, the whole
But
thing.
one person was listed as the beneficiary.
That's correct.
So then that could be a simple misunderstanding of someone not understanding that, hey, the beneficiaries take precedence over the will that you have. I'm assuming maybe in this situation they had a will drafted and said, hey, this is divvied up between these however many people. With that life insurance you said. So the life insurance designated that person as the beneficiary. So they're going to keep the money, or they will inherit it, and then what they do with it's up to them.
Exactly. Now, one of the things I know that's like every year, at least once a year, I rebalance my portfolio. How often should you be checking into these things so you make sure that all your ducks are in a row as far as who you have in what places?
There's a couple good rule of thumbs to follow. It wouldn't hurt to review these things annually. Certainly if you have life events, death in the family, get married, get divorced, birth of a child, you have a child turning 18. Life events are a good time to review. I don't know what would stop someone from reviewing annually.
Right.
Just to make sure everything's still correct.
Okay.
I think here's the takeaway, and here's what I would do if I was listening to this and I'm thinking, you know what, I'm not sure if I've done that. Work with your professionals, your financial professionals on your investment accounts, bank accounts. If you own real estate, you need a will, work with an attorney to get those things put in place. And hopefully that proactive work will then make sure your plans are aligned with your goals, and then you're going to get the outcome that you hope to get, as opposed to the outcome in your situation where one person got the money, but there were supposed to be other people involved, and that didn't happen.
Yep, that didn't happen. It was a difficult situation. Roger, before I hit you the next question, it's one of those things I think that you've talked about before, is having a I don't know, the red folder or the blue folder,
The blue
whatever.
book.
The whole point is like have a lot of these things there in one place at one time so that you know what they are, you know where they are.
In our household, we have the blue book.
That's it.
And it has everything in it. One of the nice things about getting a financial plan done is it forces you to get these documents organized. When you do a plan, all of those policy numbers, account statements, beneficiaries, all of it gets reviewed. So that's one of the benefits of doing this financial plan is organization, knowing where it's at. Even if we have a customer that we don't do the insurance for them, we know that it exists. So in those cases, we'll have clients call us after a death and ask, do you know if we had anything else? In fact, Elias, I think of one that happened a year ago. Gentleman passed, it was 2 years ago. Gentleman passed away, had 2 outside insurance policies that he'd had forever. We helped them settle that death claim, even though we really had nothing to do with it. Had we not done the financial plan, who knows how long it would have actually been before somebody would have known that those existed.
Yeah.
If you go look up how many billions of dollars are unclaimed in insurance every year, people forgot they had it, beneficiaries didn't know that they had it. They're just sitting out there waiting to be claimed.
Well, we had a situation where husband and new wife came in, and the new wife was reluctant to give the financial information, and we uncovered that the original wife was listed on the pension as the beneficiary, and that's not the way that they wanted it to be in the future. So it's a great organizational tool.
In that situation, it could have been because of a previous quadro.
Right.
You mentioned earlier, Elias, making sure that we check beneficiaries at life events. Most people don't realize what you said earlier about beneficiaries, that they supersede a will in all cases. People go and say, I have my will done, and they forget about all the other stuff. And that's the will is one part of the estate planning that needs to be done.
Okay. Speaking of estate planning, we're going to move on to another question about long-term care policies. Roger Abel and Jonas Everett and Elias Randall with us here, Premier Investments and Wealth Management. PremierIWM.com is the website. You can make an appointment there. Also, just click Get Started, answer a few questions. You get a one-page Premier Vision document. What's cool about this is that they actually are able to put together for you very visually pleasing idea of how to get ready for retirement. Like I said, it's one page. They can expand it to 150 if you want to, but the whole point of that one page is you get a free no obligation consultation. They'll sit down with you either in person, they'll do it over the internet, they'll come to you however you want it, and they will go over this with you. You get to keep that page, okay? You determine whether you want to be a client. I think that you're going to want to be. I know that I've made that choice because that one-page Premier Vision document makes it very easy to take that next step toward investing in retirement. Again, PremierIWM.com, or you can call for your appointment, 800-383-6590. Premier Investments and Wealth Management, named to Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Team.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Premier Investments and Wealth Management and LPL Financial do not provide specific individualized tax or legal advice. We suggest that you discuss your specific situation with a qualified tax or legal advisor. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. All performance referenced is historical and is not a guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of the strategies. Investing involves risks, including possible loss of principal. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. Forbes Best in State Wealth Management Team's ranking was developed by Shook Research and is based on in-person, virtual, and telephone due diligence meetings and a ranking algorithm that includes a measure of each team's best practices, client retention, industry experience, review of compliance records, firm nominations, and quantitative criteria, including assets under management and revenue generated for their firm. Investment performance is not a criterion because client objectives and risk tolerances vary, and advisors rarely have audited performance reports. Shook's research and rankings provide opinions intended to help investors choose the right financial advisor and team, and are not indicative of future performance or representative of any one client's experience. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Neither Forbes nor Shook Research receive compensation in exchange for placement on the ranking. For more information, please see www.shookresearch.com. Shook is a registered trademark of Shook Research, LLC.